So I visited like 50 guitar blogs and watched 100 YouTube videos, and I haven't seen this trick anywhere. I feel like I've stumbled upon a little guitar secret. And lucky for you, I've got a big mouth. I guarantee that you'll be able to play bar chords as fast as you've been able to play any other chord on guitar. Regardless of hand size, regardless of how long you've been playing, you'll be able to do it. Even if it's your first day. Well, probably not. If it's your first day, come back in a week. Good luck. But if you've been playing at least a week and you can play some other chords, you should be able to play a bar chord. And even if you can play bar chords, if you can't play an F as easily as you can play an open E, you should still try this. But the way I was introduced to bar chords, and the way I always see them introduced, is bad. Imagine if your friend brought you to the gym, showed you a bench press with 300 pounds and said, let's see if you can lift this. And then you say, okay. And then you try and you can't because you've never benched before. And they say, oh, maybe your hands are too small. No, you have to start with less weight and then work your way up by gradually adding more. And bar chords are very literally the same because they're literally about strength and form. Guitar is an art, but it's also very literally a physical activity. Literally. But before I tell you how to play bar chords, I just want to address some other tips that come up a lot that you probably should avoid. Lower your action. So your action is how far your strings are above the neck. And the reason people say that you should lower it is because it brings your strings closer to the fretboard, which means you don't have to press as hard to fret notes. It's not bad advice, but I'll show you one step from a tutorial on how to do it. I don't know about you, but I'd break my guitar. Start on an electric. The point isn't just to play a bar chord, it's to play a bar chord on your guitar. If you happen to have an electric laying around, it can be good to practice some techniques, including bar chords, but definitely don't get an electric just to play bar chords. Play alternate chords / semi-bars. To use another gym analogy, that's like saying, hey, did you know you can just do push-ups from your knees? No need for push-ups. So yeah, it is useful to learn alternate chords, but they shouldn't be a reason to just not do bar chords ever. Bar chords are really useful. And with that said, here's how you play them. So I'm going to start with the most common tips that you probably already know and work towards the less conventional ones, but the ones that will change your life. And then if you stack them tip by tip, I guarantee that by the end, you'll be able to play an actual full bar chord. Don't start with F. So typically the first bar chord you're taught is the F chord. And the reason for that is because the F major fits really neatly with the open chords that you're generally taught first. So if you're playing in the key of C major, look at these chords. F makes sense to also learn. They sound good together. Also, the F bar chord shape is useful along the entire neck. But if your goal is to play a bar chord, F's not the easiest bar chord to play. So what chords should you do? I'll give you two options. If you want to do a bar chord that makes sense musically with open chords that you already know and uses a must-know chord shape, do a B minor. It uses one less string, and look at the chords in G major. Fits right in. With that said, a less practical but definitely easier bar chord is the G minor. Other than bar, you only need to fret 2 notes. And also, the further you move up the neck, the less tension there is to push down the strings. But if you go too far, it might be easier to push down, but it'll be harder to squish your fingers together into the right shape. See what's most comfortable for you. Hand position. Now you might notice that all bar chord shapes are the same as open chord shapes, but since you use your index finger basically as a makeshift capo, you have to use your other 3 fingers to fret. In the case of G minor, you're just doing an E minor, but with your ring finger and pinky. So plop those down on the 5th fret on the 5th and 4th strings. Like any other chord, the closer you are to the fret, the less tension there is. So your index finger is probably just hovering over the 3rd fret. So instead of hovering, just lay it down. But don't force it too much, just focus on what feels natural, and instead of trying to push harder with your fretting hand, use your elbow on your strumming hand, arm, I guess, to push the guitar body into your side so the neck comes forward into your fretting hand. Your elbow's a lot stronger than your finger is for now, so it's a lot easier to get the right amount of force by pushing with your elbow than with your finger. And now that the basics are covered, here's the real magic. All you need is a capo and a tuner. So first, toss the capo on your 2nd fret. If you look, you can literally see all your strings coming down, and that makes them way easier to fret. The higher up on the neck that you put the capo, the less tension there will be. But same thing as before, the frets get smaller, fingers hard squish, you know? Now, the capo raises the pitch of your guitar. So what you're gonna do is pull out your tuner and tune down your guitar so you're back in standard tuning with the capo on. And leave the capo on while you're tuning. So by lowering the pitch of your strings, you're also loosening the strings, which reduces the tension. If having the capo on the 2nd fret still has too much tension, just move it down to the 3rd and retune. You can try going up to the 4th, but I probably wouldn't go too much further or else your strings might start sounding a little bit wonky. So now, with your capo on and your guitar tuned, put your pinky and ring fingers down on the 5th fret from the capo. Lay down your index finger across the 3rd fret, push in with your right elbow, and strum down. There should be a pretty big difference from trying to play an F chord on a regularly tuned guitar. Now, as you get more comfortable with it, move the capo back one fret at a time, retune, repeat until you have no capo, and that's it. You can do bar chords now. Proud of you. Love you.